Hello. Just wanted to stop by to talk to you for just a moment about something Christ said. He said that we should persevere to the end. And he said a lot of things like, pick up your cross and follow me, and anyone who loves family more than me is not worthy of the kingdom, things like that. So basically what he's saying is that it must be a total commitment. Now, I want to make you aware of what that means. And I can give a couple of examples of what's not total commitment. The kingdom of God is all around us and within us, but we don't realize its presence. We don't realize the presence of God because we're lost in the hypnosis of life. We're lost in people and ideas and notions, and we're lost in thoughts and worries and fears and daydreams and pipe dreams and thinking about the past and all that stuff. And we're lost in our substances and our music, and we get lost in everything. And so we don't have the presence of mind to do. We don't even think of doing a reality check. We're not in the frame of mind where we can do a reality check. Most of the time we're in some level of hypnotic trance. The hypnosis of everything around us pulls us into it, and we get lost in it. Now, a lot of people want to be lost in it, and for a long time probably even the best of us want to be lost in it, because if we stand back, we become aware of reality. When you begin to wake up, you begin to become aware of reality. And you become aware of your own wrong, your own phoniness, your own pretense, your own resentments and sneaky judgments of other people, your impatience with your kids, and your little resentments toward your partner and toward your parents and other people. You become aware of that, and it's painful to see. And you also become aware that you're not living your own life. You're going along to get along. You're conforming for peace and for approval. And you become aware of all of that kind of stuff. And so what happens then is anxiety begins to dawn, which is conscience in its most recognizable form. But if you were to persevere, if you were to stick with that, and not if reality began to dawn and you didn't reach for anything, you didn't reach for the iPhone, you didn't reach for food, you didn't reach for a drink, you didn't reach for comfort from the world, you didn't reach for music, you just sat there and bore a little bit of anxiety, a little bit of pain of seeing the truth, then you know what? If you didn't resent it, then you would start to see things from the eternal perspective. You would see your own wrong, but if you didn't resent seeing it, by seeing it, then you can get better. See, as long as you don't know that there's anything wrong, how can you get better? So that's the marvels of salvation. But I want to give you a couple of examples of how people are not committed to go all the way. Persevere to the end. If you persevere to the end, there's the pot of gold at the end of the rainbow. I'll give you a classic example. I said that waking up, that's what we need to do, is wake up. Well, a lot of people have a wake-up call. Someone in their family is suddenly in the hospital, for example. It's a wake-up call. It's sobering. It lends itself to being thoughtful about life and to begin to see what's really important in life. You know, we get so lost in all these little trivial things, and we forget what's really important. We forget to stop and smell the roses, kind of a thing. Or sometimes people will have, like, let's say, a heart attack. Well, that's a big wake-up call, isn't it? It's a wake-up call. So what happens then is that the person who, let's say someone in the family's in the hospital and it's very sobering, and it makes them thoughtful, so they become thoughtful. And it it weans them of all the things that they had been lost in. And for a little while, they have a more thoughtful attitude, a more philosophical, a more patient. They don't get upset about the small things. They realize what's important. But then what happens is that a lot of times it starts to wear off, and before long they're pulled back into the world again, and they're back to just the way it was. So they didn't persevere with it, you see. I gave the example of someone who has a heart attack. Well, you see, a lot of times people have a heart attack, big wake-up call. So then they start cleaning up their act. They see that they're angry. They're all stressed out. They see that they're working too hard. They see that they're impatient and angry with their family. And they see all that, and they see that that's contributing to the stress in their life. So they work a little bit less. They try to be a little more laid back. And they see that they haven't been eating right either. They've been eating all wrong and haven't been exercising. They start eating right and exercising right. And so, yeah, that's good. But then what often happens is that they later begin to fall back into their old ways. And then half a year later, it's just back to the way they were. See? So they didn't persevere. Another danger is to get caught up in the hypnosis of the thing itself. In other words, the person then gets totally caught up in health food and totally caught up in exercise. And that becomes a substitute, see? So instead of drinking, now they're taking bottled water. Instead of smoking, now they're chewing gum. Instead of working 10 hours a day, now they're exercising 10 hours a day. I'm just exaggerating, but you get the point. So they've substituted one fetish, one hang-up, one fixation for another. And so now they go around and brag, and they've clung to their pride. Their pride has been salvaged. It has now just taken on a new cloak. It's like some people give up the bottle and they pick up religion, then they give up religion and pick up the bottle again, like that, back and forth, see. But they haven't really changed. So any wake-up call must wake you to the truth itself, to the inner light of truth in which you can see reality and see your own wrong. And then you must abide with that inner light and walk in the light and meditate with the little meditation like I have, to remain in rapport with the light. And then you must persist with your desire to know the truth and to be a better person, even though you don't know how to be a better person, and to be a better parent or a better partner, and you don't even know. See? And rely totally upon God. So it has to be a pure longing for truth, and then you have to stick with it. You can't slide back. Now, some people do make great. They proceed beyond the wake-up call to staying awake for quite a while, and it helps listening to someone like me and using my meditation, reading my books, so that's very helpful. And it helps them, but then they start to slide back. Often it comes after some kind of an upset, some kind of an emotional thing, or there's some attachment to the world. It could be an organized group or church or something they don't want to give up. And through that little door, see, comes the world that wants to enlarge itself within. Do you understand? So you have to be dedicated, and you have to be watchful, and you have to give all that stuff up. No, you can't decide to give up organized groups and false friends, and you can't decide any of that. If you make a decision, then it's probably just in response to another temptation tempting you to decide. No, you just see in the clear light of truth, you see something for what it is, and then it lets you go. It lets you go. Then you didn't do anything. All you did was see it in the light. You see what I mean? So You can't follow other people's programs, their diet programs or health programs or any kind of program. Yeah, you can hear what they say. Maybe there's some nugget of truth in it. Great. But you can't be a follower of them. Do you understand what I'm saying? And you can't make it your God. Yeah, you can hear what this person says and this expert and this doctor and this health person and this author, and you can hear what they say. And maybe there's a little something there that's of use to you. So you pick up little clues here and there. But let it be collated by the inner light. Let the light guide you. Become a lamp unto your feet, and persist. Blessed is he or she who persists, perseveres to the end. And the end is the beginning. See, the end is the beginning of more good, more realizations, more joy.